What's your name?
Tyler.
Kyler.
Oleg, right?
Yeah, Oleg. Nice to meet you, Kyler.
Yes.
Where are you from?
Originally from Chicago and moved to Arizona last year to move out with my family. And then my family moved away, and Adrian was living out in San Diego, so I decided that I would go and take a trip out to visit him, and I fell in love with San Diego, and so a week later, last week, packed up all my stuff, drove back out, moved here. So,
what do you do?
I do video, a bit, photography. I also do marketing for real estate companies and real estate agents. So I kind of work with them as well, doing like online advertising for properties, like generating leads for the business, that sort of thing. So that's what I'm hoping to do when I go and talk to a few people in town. Is I met a real estate agent that owns a branch of a company out here, and so I'm hoping that there's room for me in that company. You know, I haven't met him yet, but got introduced to him a few weeks ago, so hopefully that will go well.
Cool. You 21?
Yes.
Just 21?
Yeah, so only 21.
Just big start.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do you think? You happy? You happy man?
Yeah.
What do you need for
Happy life?
Yeah.
Being happy overall?
You think?
Living simply. That's a big one.
Living simply?
Like being happy with what you have, not thinking happiness is going to come from something else. Like, you know, I won't be happy until I go buy a car, or I won't be happy until I have a huge house. Whatever that is, like, if you're not happy already, that isn't going to make you happy. It's not going to, if you're always looking for fulfillment somewhere else, you're never going to find it within yourself, you'll never be fulfilled. So that's just, over time, something I've learned to kind of adopt, because a lot of people around are like miserable because of that. Like, they're not happy. They're not, they're always wanting something else. They're like, oh, if I have this, I'll be happy. If I have that, or if this works out. It's like, well, you got to start with yourself, and then just out of the things you might get along the way can help. But if you're not happy on the inside, you'll never be happy with anything you collect throughout this life, or, you know. And also, I try to live more through experiences than like materialistic things. I'd much rather go on like a trip somewhere to go explore some new place I haven't been, versus like buying a new car, or like, you know, buying new toys. I'd much rather go travel somewhere. And so I put anything I make back into like travel or exploring or meeting new people like you. Much better for me, you know, for happiness anyways, than buying toys all the time and expecting that to keep me fulfilled. So,
little history about your family.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's for me it's very interesting, because for me as family it's much important.
Yeah. So I don't even know where to start with this. My family's kind of all over the U.S. My parents got divorced when I was really young, and so I was constantly moving between Wisconsin, or Illinois at the time, and Alabama, which is in the south of the United States, because my dad would live in the south, my mom lived up north, and so I was constantly bouncing between those two states with my brothers at the time. And then Adrian came along, and he had a different dad, same mom, and so he was always bouncing around. So my brothers and I would only be together every so often. Like every few years we'd actually all be together, and then we'd all split up again. Currently I'm with Adrian. He's moving back to Illinois here in like a week, and I just moved here to like hang out with him. And my other brother lives in Alabama, but he's moving back to Arizona. Yeah, my mom lives in Arizona. My dad lives in Alabama. And I have family spread out everywhere else as well. So it's like, it's very tough, and growing up like dealing with that all the time, like always bouncing around, never knowing like where you're going to be. I've always just been, I had to get used to like traveling, and then I told myself I might as well enjoy this travel, because I'm going to constantly be doing it. And I noticed a lot of people, they won't like leave their hometowns after they get old enough. Like, you know, after you turn 18, you can you have free reign at that point usually, and most people won't leave because they've gotten so comfortable with where they are that they don't want to go try out new waters, go see new places. But I've just gotten so used to it, and I started enjoying it to the point that I'm like, might as well keep traveling, you know, like keep meeting new people. people. Like that's probably one of the best things I would encourage people to do is just keep getting your perspective changed by meeting different people, different cultures, especially coming out to San Diego. There's so many countries that kind of like come into the city, and you can get so many different. I mean, there's the Russians, there's the Italians, there's the Ukrainians, and like you can't find that in a lot of places. A lot of places are very like secluded with what they have for a culture, and I just really enjoy being around.
San Diego is very friendly.
I enjoy that so much. Like that's a big reason I moved here, other than the beautiful weather and everything else. But
my second question.
Yeah.
You do surf?
Yes, I was going to ask you the same question. Do you surf?
Yeah, I just learned, and every Saturday.
Okay.
La Jolla Beach.
Yep.
We can do free surf.
Yep.
And yeah, if you can visit us this Saturday.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to come out. And I just I went surfing with Adrian's friend just a few weeks ago, a week ago. Yeah, a Greek guy by the name of James, and he's a really good surfer. And they had some extra surfboards or whatever, so we went out into the water that day. And I surfed all day, but I never got up on the board because I hadn't done it in a while. To give you some context, I guess, I was a lifeguard like 6 years ago in Chicago at a big theme park, and they had like one of those surf riders. So it was like an artificial wave. It was this big machine. It created a wave, and you could ride it on this little surfboard. That's kind of where I learned like how to balance and stuff.
Yeah.
But I hadn't really surfed since then, and not especially like getting up on a real board and like in the like actual water getting pounded by an ocean the whole time. So I finally got up at the end of the day, and I had him with my camera recording it. So now I have it on film, so I'm gonna like go and cut it up and like edit it and make it look like this great like surfing trip, even though I only got up one time the whole day. But I love the process of surfing, like teaching yourself to balance, being calm, hopefully not getting eaten by any sharks while you're out there. It's a good experience overall.
Okay, what do you think? Any recommendation for my followers? What need to read the book?
Yes.
And video from YouTube.
Yep.
Any recommendation? What's your recommendation for make your life better?
All of those, especially. I will tell you, I was not living a very good life for a long time. I was very like depressed and down and out and like just kind of going through life, not growing, not trying to live. I was just going through it. I felt like I was being dragged through life and like playing the victim the whole time, essentially. Just kept pretending that everything was everybody else's fault, never took responsibility, and things just kept happening to me all the time. And I never, I was always reactive instead of active in my life. And then one year, this was 2 years ago now. Yeah, 2 years, I moved out to Oregon, and I lost everything out there. Everything, like my car, all my money, just went flat broke. And at that point, I was like, okay, Kyler, you can either keep, pretending that everything sucks all the time, or you can start owning your life, and you can start trying to change it for the better. And I had heard read books, go find mentors, take courses on YouTube or what have you. And so that summer, when I finally got back onto my feet, I had an old mentor friend reach out to me, and he allowed me to move in with him for the summer. And he owns a business out in Chicago, and so I got to live with this guy who was running his own business for 3 months, and it completely changed how I operated in life. Like I stopped living like a teenager and started living like a business person. And so I started reading a ton of books at that point. I was just kind of adopting what he was doing, like mirroring what he was doing every day. Like he would get up really early, he would work a certain way, and then at night, he'd retire for the night, whatever. And so I pretty much just started following suit on what he was doing each day. He was reading, he was taking these courses, and my previous experience was in construction, but I couldn't keep doing that. My body just was not able to physically, just wears you down. And I played sports for a long time, so my body was just beat. And I told myself I can't keep doing this. I have to figure out some type of skill that isn't so physically demanding. And so I started teaching myself marketing, and like online marketing, like Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, that sort of thing, building businesses online. And so I taught myself that summer. And then I was like, well, I need to focus this down. I can't advertise for every business out there. I was like, well, I have a previous experience in construction. Maybe if I focus on the real estate industry, since I kind of know what they're about, that would be the best route. And that was really how I got started. And then, so this past year I moved to Arizona, and I was running a small online marketing company when I moved out there. and they had a position open at this real estate company that required a college degree. Well, I didn't go to college. I taught myself all throughout school how, like, I never go to school, but I'd always pass the exams. So I was like, college is going to be the same way. Why would I pay for that if I'm just going to teach myself everything anyways? So I just taught myself marketing, and so this position that the real estate company had open for a marketing coordinator required a college degree in marketing. I didn't have one, but since I had started a business, they pretty much said, you know, that's fine. We'll accept you since you've already been doing this for so long. You're actually doing it instead of just having a degree. You know how it works in real life. And so I got hired in this in this real estate company on my 21st birthday last year. And on the same day, I had another real estate agent. Yeah, another real estate agent reached out to me and had asked me if I could work for him. So on my 21st birthday, 8-9 months after I started teaching myself marketing, I got hired for 2 full-time positions marketing for 2 different companies, and I started making a lot of money then.
Cool.
And I was like, so this is how it works. Like, you just teach yourself something, get really good at it, and people will pay you for that skill. The rarer the skill, the more people will pay you for it. And a lot of people just don't understand especially the older people who are in real estate, which a lot of them are. Normally their second or third career, like they've retired once and then they get into real estate. They don't understand the internet that well, and they don't understand how Facebook works, how Instagram works, how YouTube works.
Yeah.
You know, they have all these property videos, but they don't know what to do with them. They just have them go up and they expect them to blow up and get a ton of views. Like, no, there's certain things you can do, certain avenues you can take to get views on those videos, and so they paid me a lot for this past year, and so I saved all of it up because I was like, whatever I'm going to do next, I want to have a good startup cost for that. And what ended up happening is I started getting into film and photography at that point because I really enjoyed it. I just couldn't afford the equipment at the time to make a really good video or take really good photos, and so I dumped some of my savings into photography, like the camera equipment, the video gear, that sort of thing. And then the rest of it I continued to save up until recently I decided to move out to San Diego. I was like, well, this is great, I've been saving all this money because San Diego is kind of expensive to get your foot in the door out here right away, unless you really know somebody. And so just playing it smart, like not blowing my whole paycheck every week. Like, I mean, it would be ridiculous. I could have went and bought a car, a house, all that stuff, but I was like, I don't need any of that. And so just keep holding on to that for like a year helps me tremendously. Most people don't save to future investments. They don't, for some reason, they don't see a future investment down the road. They're just like, oh, I have money to spend. They'll go out and party every weekend. Like, I didn't go out and party, I went and bought books. I didn't go out and party, I went and took courses online on how to be a better, marketer, a better business person. I would go to events, seminars, that sort of thing. So that's where I spent my money. Instead of blowing it on things that weren't going to pay me back, I started putting it in my brain. Just paying for a degree, but not going to a school for the degree, like a street degree, if you will. Figuring out what you actually enjoy doing instead of taking a ton of courses or a ton of classes in college that you don't have any interest in, and then going into the real world and realizing none of it can be applied, versus going right into the real world, figuring out what works, what doesn't, and then start building on that. Yeah. So I just took that other route, I guess, that route nobody ever wants to take because it's so covered and shrouded in clouds, like you can't see through that path. You just have to go for it. And I went for it and ended up working out so far. I don't know how long this journey continues before something else happens, but I'm very confident in the route I've taken to this point. At first I was so if this doesn't work, I'm completely screwed. If I didn't go to school and I fall flat on my face again, then everybody was right. But then it worked out, so it's
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
How long will be stay here in San Diego?
For a long time.
Okay.
I don't plan on moving anytime soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, packed up all my stuff. I just moved to Arizona.
I think so. We meeting more and then maybe
doing some videos.
Yeah. I do video from drone.
I've seen the drone you have. Looks pretty neat.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe do some drone footage with the surfing.
Yeah, cool. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And my second question: do you like pizza?
I do like pizza.